Imagine for a moment being Kevin Costner. Picture the wide stretches of your own ranch, the bank and the iconic role of John Dutton in Yellowstone under your belt. Life is surely a dream. I'm Baumgartner. In this video, we are going to talk about the hottest issue on the ranch. You'll discuss would Costner hint at a Yellowstone lawsuit in the midst of an already scorching divorce battle. The answers will surprise you. They maybe even shock you. So continue watching. Kev 2 decades, having 3 wonderful kids, and then deciding to go separate ways. That's exactly what Kevin Costner and Christine Baumgartner are facing now, and you won't believe this. Keep slashing the child support payments that Costner makes. From the original amount of $129,755, it is now down to $63,209, $237.50. Why? It was for Costner's legal fees. You see, the drama was thick with questions about whether Baumgartner really understood their prenuptial agreement. She claimed not to know what words like understood and negotiation meant. And because of these confusions, Costner ended up spending a lot more on legal fees than he had hoped. His lawyers were clear, this shouldn't have been a pricey game. Despite all these legal tangles, there is money in play. Through the prenup, Baumgartner receives $1.5 million. However, if she decided to challenge this agreement, she could lose this amount and possibly. This was a very painful part of his life, especially when the person on the other side was someone he deeply cared with his kids and learned more about himself as he deals with this kind of change. And for Baumgartner, during the trial, she made it clear about her future plans. Christine wants to be independent and top. There were whispers of a new boyfriend, but she clarified that it was merely a family friend. No winner after court ended. Life. It's unpredictable, isn't it? One moment you're soaring high, feeling invincible, and then bam! The next minute you're reminded of how fragile everything truly is. You know, when you have a life that long with somebody, there is no winner. And it's this big, crazy thing called life, and how it unravels so quickly. Costner passionately conveyed, just think about it. One day you're on top of the world, and then suddenly you realize just how vulnerable you truly are, he continued. But despite the waves, he remains optimistic. They had a child, and he knows that above all, they need to be there for their kid. Costner said, we will figure it out and we'll share. We just got to kind of convalesce right now. Now, Baumgartner made a claim for child support, and a figure she threw out there, well, it was huge. And this whole ordeal is a warning sign to Baumgartner. A huge court battle awaits them and no be what controls here, he explained. Instead, there's a need for reason, and maybe it's wise to reconsider how strong those arguments about the prenup really are. Costner's hints at a Yellowstone lawsuit. During his divorce hearing last week, Costner hinted at some misunderstandings with the Yellowstone crew. The courtroom drama is unfolding, and it's not just about his marriage. The whole hearing has revolved around his earnings. Baumgartner suspects that Costner might be playing games with his income, turning down some offers to pay Baumgartner less. Then the spotlight was turned up. The million-dollar question is, will Costner be a part to negotiate? Costner shared, but they didn't see eye to eye. Then he continued, I tried to break with Horizon, he said. Somewhere along the line, they wanted to change things. This was all in the courtroom, but the rumor is that Costner might have made himself a bit hard to get for the show. And when asked about compensation for the latest Yellowstone seasons, Costner said, I will probably go to court over it. In a nutshell, Costner's pointing fingers at the split of Season 5, which apparently messed with agreed to a whopping $24 million for those 2 seasons. And lately, the show's creator, Taylor Sheridan, expressed unhappiness by saying, I'm disappointed. Talking about Kevin Costner has been trying for weeks to get Baumgartner to exit their marital home. And guess what? There's this piece of paper from 2004 that says she should leave in just 30 days, July 2nd. But the judge changed the date to July 31st. And now her and the kids out too soon. Now her anonymous friend said that Christine's trying to keep things as possible, but Kevin is doing the opposite. She believes he's forgotten how hard this is for the children. Furthermore, Christine thinks Costner is making her move without a proper plan. She doesn't want to make random housing decisions. She wants a solid plan, and her focus is their kids' well-being. You see, Costner is the one bringing in the big bucks right now. And Christine, she has said she has no income, no earning capacity, and no accessible assets other than about $50,000. So Costner dropped a whopping $1.5 million in her bank to more. And here's where this battle gets even more intense. If she accepts the cash, she can't challenge the 2004 agreement in court. If she loses, she has to return the whole amount. So will she take the money? Will the prenup stand? That's coming up in the next courtroom and the scenes affecting the quality of the show. And another one said this is nonsense, the divorce. And while Costner loses $12 million, Yellowstone creator Taylor Sheridan is actually enjoying the legendary Four Sixes Ranch after buying it for almost $500 million. We promise that you don't want to miss this, so click this video right here